Hey everybody, Crazything here, the airbrush guy. I'm just setting up, getting ready. Gonna do a live video. It will be a little bit before I do any actual airbrushing. Just so you're aware. I want to give a few minutes for some people to jump on. I will be airbrushing in a little while. It's cold today. We woke up to like 6 or 7 degrees outside today. But I got a good warm out here. I'm just now getting everything ready for you. Good morning, James. So what I want to do for you today is do a little Q&A, some questions and answers. I'm going to do some how-to today, try to explain things as I go. I'm also going to break in a brand new airbrush today. Still in the box. I haven't opened it yet. But like I said, I'm still getting ready. I told everybody I'd be on at 12 and I have 11:59 now, so that's pretty cool. If you don't get a chance to watch all this, I do plan on downloading it onto my YouTube channel once I'm done with it. There should be a link to that in the description. If not, I'll have plenty of people commenting my links for me if need be. I'm going to try my best to answer everybody as I go. A lot of times I'll be airbrushing and I don't get a chance to focus on the questions. My Facebook will be going crazy and I don't get a chance to do it all. Too many things at one time for somebody that's not as technologically advanced as I should be, I guess. I'm pretty old-fashioned. Good morning, James. Good afternoon, Elena. Andrea, I'm doing good. There's Tabitha and Misty. They're coming in now. Penny's in New York. It's in the description, but posting again. Awesome. Good job, Andrea. Thank you very much for helping out. That does mean a lot to me. So guys, let me finish getting ready. I'll show you around the shop. My amazing wife bought me this tripod. So I need you to hang on because we're getting ready to get fancy. You ready? Watch this. Oh yeah. See the special effects? It's pretty advanced for me. I've got my firewood over there. Wood stove's going. What? You don't believe me? I told you it's cold outside. We got a fire. And smoke. Oh, there's a trike. I'm going to have to cover that up here in just a second. Yeah, that one's going to be a cool one. I'm getting there. But I'll be airbrushing this tree skirt here shortly. Oh, there's Wild Thing. See Wild Thing over there, my assistant? Right there. Look at this camera work. Isn't that amazing? Special effects. He's over there holding down the fort. Look at him. He wears my business shirts so well. So impressive. He's like a promoter and assistant all in one. He's quiet. You know, we've got like 6 to 8 inches of snow. He still shows up to work. Isn't that cool? All right, guys. I'm going to cover this trike up real quick. I'll let you guys watch. I like to keep everything covered in plastic. That way no overspray will get on it. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about. So now let's get down to business. Connie, Monster. There's Tabitha. We got Snow too. The business shirts look good on him. I told you. I mean, he wears them well. You know, anybody else wants one, let me know. They are on my Etsy page. So, I invited y'all here today to be in my happy place. And here is one of my happy items. Look at that. Still in the box. Brand new. Never had any paint put in it. That's right, James. I was outside in a tank top. I don't have to commute very far to work. That's what I love. Okay. All right. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to open up this box. This is a brand new Iwata Eclipse. And I'm already getting excited, so I'm trying to slow down a little bit. This is the HPCS. For those of you that are into the technical stuff, I want to try to teach some stuff in these videos too. I know a lot of you came here to see me airbrush, and that's going to happen, but it's going to be a little bit. I want to do some how-tos and show some people stuff. And if anybody's got any questions, please fire me up on there, and I'll do my best. I just bought an Iwata yesterday. Did you get what kind did you get? Monster? Rob Monster? I want to do a disclaimer real quick. I am no expert on these videos, other than the amazing camera work. I'm sorry, oh yeah, we're fancy here. Any information I give you is solely from my experience, okay? It isn't facts. It's just from what I've learned by either watching YouTube videos or just my experience. I've got 7-8 years of experience, and it's all trial and error. Nobody's came to my shop and showed me. I've never been professionally trained or took classes or anything like that. So any information I give you, it's information that comes from my experience, and it could be wrong. It's just the way I do things, okay? So please, don't take me too seriously, but like for instance, Monster Rob says he got the NIU. I personally heard a lot of bad things about the NIU depending on what you're going to do with it. If you were going to try to get very professional or airbrush a lot, I would advise the Iwata NIU or the Iwata Eclipse and not the NIU. This is the powerhouse and the workhorse of the airbrush community. I believe Badger and Pache are up there. I've never owned them, so I don't have experience. Again, everything I teach you or tell you is only coming from the experience that I know. Hello, Quentin. Yeah, John Blender, what's going on, buddy? Yep, I'm alive. How you doing down there in the nice warm states? See, I want to open this so bad. I can't stand it. All right, I've got to get this open. I love it. I want to see it. I want to touch it. I want to use it. They tricked me. It's a box in a box. That's okay. I'll get there. I'll get there. All right, Iwata. Let's see here. What do we got to do? Oops, see, look. It's still got the tabs on it. That's all right. I'm going to get it open. Going to get it open. Look at that. It's already congratulating me. Congratulations on your genuine Iwata. That's right. Here we go. Can't see me there, can you? It's awesome camera work. Wait. I got fancy. Ready? Oh yeah. See? I'm telling you. High tech, fancy. Can you see me now? Ooh, I got a new sticker. I like it. I love it. I want some more of them. Guys, if there's any like big, huge, multi-million-dollar companies that want to sponsor me and maybe send me some more stickers, yeah, hit me up for an address. We'll talk. This is with my box. If I'm not mistaken, this is where they put enough paint in there to use it once to show that it works, I'm assuming. But look at the lines on that. Those are some very fine lines, and I have gotten smaller. Instructions, anybody that needs them. Hoping by now I don't. They have English and, oh my goodness, I'm assuming Japanese, if anybody could tell me, or maybe if you can read that, or if you just have some Japanese food and want to bring it over. I like my Chinese and Japanese, and I love Korean. Okay, I'm getting off subject. All right, focus. Look at that. That is beautiful. Can you see it? It's all shiny and clean. NIU is for mostly fine art and illustrations. I believe the NIU is capable, but just from the research that I have seen, they are not true Iwatas through and through. And this is only going by things I've seen other people. But that's why they're more of an inexpensive airbrush. But give it a shot, you know, try it out. Let me know how it does. I'd be very curious. All right, so here's the airbrush gun. Let's see what all it comes with here. Can you see what I'm doing here? Am I in the way? My awesome camera work? It does come with a wrench. More stuff. I think it's a mask, isn't it? All right. Focus. Ooh, look at here. That's cool. It comes with its own filter. I had forgotten that they do that. That is awesome. These are filters that go in line. I have two in my hose for my air compressor, but when I'm out doing like mural work, I'll take my portable compressors, and those get pretty warm pretty quick. And when they get warm, they tend to condensate a lot more, and they'll do it pretty quick, and you'll get water coming in your air supply. This will eliminate that a lot. Maybe not completely, but a lot. And it has a little trigger on the bottom of these. I don't have one handy to show you that's open. They have a little trigger on the bottom of these, a little button that you can push, and it releases the water. So if while you're working, if you watch, you'll see it. Just check it every now and then, see how much water's in it. If it starts to accumulate a lot of water, hit that button, it gets rid of the water for you, and you continue to airbrush without getting water sprayed on your project, because you don't want that. These are amazing, they're handy, I recommend them, and Iwata was kind enough to send one with it. Again, I'm not sponsored. Iwata's not paying me to do this. How cool would it be if they was? I'll open all kinds of them. I'll try out everything you got, but that's not taking place today. It comes with some paint. Look at that. I remember these. Comes with a couple colors to try out. Comes with some airbrush cleaner. We like airbrush cleaner. The cleaner the better, right? We'll set these on the table for now. This is not a normal paint that I use. I am a big fan of Createx and Wicked colors. Like for instance, this one is a Wicked blue. It's an amazing paint. Alright. Monster Rob, I'll send pics later. Alright, thank you. Alright, there's Beth and Beth. Can you guys hear me okay? I'm assuming you can. Nobody's telling me, hey, you're moving your mouth, but nothing's happening. Comes with a little container of lube, which is always a good idea when you're dealing with metal. Get your mind out of the gutter. This will probably last you a lifetime. My personal experience, the lubrication is good for everything in the back end of the airbrush, because there's a lot of metal on metal, and it's good for your seals and such. What else? We have airbrushing, a user's guide to get started. There you go. It's probably got a lot of good information in it. And I guess if I had time and I wasn't a man and don't like instructions. And we'll pretend like I didn't see that. But it's there if you want it. Okay, this is very good packaging. It's sturdy. I mean, it's a good box. They take care of their stuff. I like to see that. All right, so what do I need to get started? Let me show you. The back end here comes apart. It has a needle cap on the end, and my vocabulary may be incorrect. It may not be exact. It may be called something else in the parts book, but I doubt the video will ever pick up on just how small this little needle is. But I like to check that to make sure that it's straight. Don't know if you can see it or not right there, but I do like to look to make sure that it hasn't been bent in some form or fashion before I do anything. I don't want to hit that trigger and pull on it and then have something bent before I ever got started. Now, it's never happened. I've never had that issue. It's just, in my mind, I could picture it being an issue for whatever reason. A lot of times when I'm airbrushing, I don't have either one of these on the airbrush. It's added weight, and with tip dry, I like to be able to get to that needle. You can barely see the needle. It's right, James. It's a little bitty one. Now, the only thing this does not come with, straight out of the box, is a piece for this. This is where your air hooks up. I do not have a piece to hook that up in the box. Now, you can use this. That'll help. That'll hook right to it. I can hook directly from my hose to the airbrush. Not a problem. But me, I use these quick disconnects. These are amazing. They save you so much time, and not just time that I can take. For those that don't know, quick disconnect. I'm connected. I'm ready. This is my other gun. Got a little water in it. Calm down. There's nothing over here getting sprayed. Quick disconnect. Boom. I'm done. Done with that color. Let's go to the next one. Okay. Boom. Ready. Good to go. Okay. Love these. If you don't have a quick disconnect, you're going to be unscrewing the hard line on and off and on and off. It's a good chance for your threads to get all messed up, which could possibly mess up your airbrush gun. The quick disconnects are amazing. With that being said, I'm going to take the quick disconnect off of this gun. Look how easy it is. Sorry, I'm trying to show you guys so that anybody that doesn't know or wants to learn can learn. I'm trying to do a good job for you. This is the end that will go for the quick disconnect, okay? This is the raw airbrush gun with no end on it. So I can take this, and if you wanted, if you wasn't going to be moving things around a lot, maybe in your shop, you could put some Teflon tape on here. That'll help seal it up good, but for now, my brand new airbrush gun is connected, okay? The lid pops right off. The lid, if you can see it, I don't know if you can or not, has a little bitty hole in the center. Gotta watch that hole. If it gets clogged up too much while you're airbrushing, it will make such a mess. I can prove it. See the paint on the bottom of my hat? This happened while I was airbrushing for a lady, I think in Flaherty, Godzilla mural on a wall. I specifically remember that. And I touched the end of my gun, and it closed up just by that split second. It closed up there, and the air had nowhere to go. So it went up and backed up through the cup here and that hole was clogged up, so it had nowhere to go. So it just brought the lid out, and paint come with it. And it hit me in the face, it hit me on the hat, got a little bit in my eye, which had a good little sting to it. Something to definitely watch. That little exhaust port there is a good idea to keep it clean. Alright, you ready? Brand new airbrush. Y'all saw me take it out of the box. Iwata Eclipse. I'm going to hook it up. Hear that? I've got about 30 psi going through it. That's usually about average for what I do out here in the shop. There comes some of that amazing camera work again. Guys, I hope I'm not boring you too bad, but there's a lot of people that keep asking me questions about stuff like this, so I'm trying to do a little bit of how-tos. If you've got some questions, ask them now, and hopefully I'll be able to answer them for you. There's Beth saying share, share, shares. Anybody share my videos? Do you? I know you do. I know a lot of you do, otherwise nobody would see them. Alright, so what I want to do to make sure that there's no maybe dust particles or metal shavings or anything from the factory or from anywhere, I'm going to put some water through this to make sure it works. Water. I love to label my stuff because this is actual cleaner. It doesn't say water on it. So the ones with water in them, which is what I use 90% of the time. Is my hair erect? Should I put my hat back on? Alright. Most of the time I use water to clean everything out. I can sufficiently 4 or 5 days a week use water and not have any issues. And which is awesome. It's cheap. It's easy. I don't put any harsh chemicals and major cleaners and wear out my seals and everything else, because there are seal packings throughout the airbrush that are made out of like Teflon and rubber and stuff, and imagine what the chemicals would do to that. So, you ready? We're going to try it out. Here we go. Maybe point it this way against the black. Got the water in it. Here we go. Look at that. Isn't that awesome? Sounds good. You can hear it. I like to listen to the airbrush even though I'm hard of hearing. Is that a guy thing? No. I was born that way. You ready? You hear how it's consistent? It's not spitting, it's not sputtering. Nice, even tone. You can tell a lot by listening to your airbrush. Now you're going to watch the flow. See how there's nothing coming out, just air. And as I move the trigger back, that is what opens up that needle I showed you guys, which will let the paint pass through, water in this case, while I'm showing you what's going on. You ready? All right, nothing but air. You ready? I'm going to ease into it. Can you see? Just a little bit right there. On and off. Just a little bit of water coming out as I barely move the trigger. Now watch this. That's when all the way back. See the difference? A lot. And that's just for moving the trigger back and forth. And that's the same thing that happens with paint. I think it comes across on the camera pretty good with that black background, doesn't it? But when I'm doing classes and teaching people, especially kids, I show them that this is a two-way trigger. Pushing down on it is what does your air. See that? That's all it is. It's a short trigger. Iwata does not have a whole lot of play in their triggers, which is good. They do make some, I think it's called a MAC valve, where you can adjust your pressure on the gun itself, but I have regulators in place to do that for me. So there's your up and down. That's just your air. And again, when you pull the trigger back is when you're pulling your needle in and you're setting your flow of your paint. I'll do it again. Up against the black back, but words are hard. The black background so that you can see it. Air, a little bit of flow, increase it. See that? And that's all with water. Now imagine that with paint. So I'm going to go just a little. Isn't that cool? And it's empty. No more in it. Goes pretty quick, doesn't it? All right. So what should we do with it now? We know it works. I believe the manufacturer would probably recommend me to open this up and take the lube they sent with it, put it throughout the back. This is your needle chuck. I could loosen that, pull that out. I could take the insides out. I could lube it and have it all set really good. And it's a good idea to do that. Okay? I'm not going to do it. I have my reasons for that. I know that with a brand new airbrush gun that I'm safe to do that. I realize that. But what worries me is over time, I know that the seals in here will wear out. Good time for a train. I also know that my air compressor will probably kick on, and when it does, it'll run for like a minute or two, and then it'll go off. So sorry about that, but it is a necessity. Well, where was I at? The reason I don't lube these is because I don't want anything oil-based to accidentally travel, like maybe across my needle, and end up shooting out. That is just a mental thing that I have. So I couldn't imagine be airbrushing something and get a little bit of oil on it. You're not going to be able to seal it. That oil's there forever. I have 3 Iwatas here that I have never lubed. One of them is about 6 years old. This one, the one I took the piece off of, it's about 6 years old. And it works tremendous. I used it yesterday. I still get very fine lines with it, which is all in, the functionality of it is great, and I never lubed it, okay? That's all I can tell you, like I said, is from my experience. So, let me check and see if there's any questions on here. Shauna, good morning. Rob, I inspired you to do a video. Well, I'm glad to hear that. I really enjoy inspiring people. What do you clean yours with? I have to use acrylics for my flowers, and I clog. Okay. I clean mine with water. That's what I was just saying a moment ago, if you need to replay it. But 90% of the time is all water. I do have an airbrush cleaner that I use from time to time. But most of the time I clean it all out with water and I have no issues. Now that does require, for me, I dismantle the entire airbrush. I take the needle out, I take my cones and everything out of the front, and I got brushes that I will clean it with. Matter of fact, I'll show you that while I have you on video. Maybe this will help you out, Renee. These are little pipe cleaning type brushes. Can you see them? Right in the eye. Alright, you can see they get very small. Okay, and these will clean out your airbrush very well. I do plan on doing a how-to video on a teardown one day when I get caught up and get some time. I want to do an entire breakdown, clean out, put it back together, ready to go. But I haven't had a chance to do that, guys. That's part of the reason why I'm doing today's video, is to help some of you that have some questions and to keep asking me to do the how-to videos. At least this way, I can actually airbrush something, do a little how-to, help you guys out if possible. I am going to grab a couple pieces of wood. You want to come with me? I love this technology. It's so cool. I feel like an expert cameraman. Look at this. I better pay attention to what I'm doing, huh? Make sure we got plenty of heat. I know you guys see me in my shorts and tank top, so you know it's pretty warm out here. So another teaching moment, real quick, for you guys that are airbrushing and painting items, even if you're not airbrushing, if you're just doing any kind of painting. I don't just warm this garage up for me. Whatever item I'm airbrushing, whether it would be that trike over there, whether it would be these pumpkins, or even the tree skirt, it needs to be up to temperature. It needs to acclimate to the correct temperature. I would want this material to be between 60 and 70 degrees before I can trust painting on it. If it's too cold, the paint may react differently and not want to adhere and not want to stick to it. Can you imagine doing all that work and it not sticking? That doesn't work. So like I said, this needs to sit out here and get nice and warm, regardless of whether I'm warm or I'm cold. I want the paint up to temperature. I do not leave my paint out here. I take it in every night. When it's cold outside, if it gets colder than probably 40, 45 degrees, I take all of it inside. I don't want my paint getting cold. I never want to take a chance on it freezing. It can completely separate and mess up if it ever freezes, but even when it's really cold, it doesn't seem to function as good. It doesn't flow as well. Okay? That's just, like I said, from my experience. So this tree skirt, it's going to have a Nightmare Before Christmas on it. I'm sure you might have guessed that if you follow my work. Those are very popular. Here it is several weeks after Christmas and I'm still doing tree skirts. How cool is that? James says, I like the skulls on your wall. Did you airbrush those? James, that is a great question. I will answer that real quick before I get started. Can you see all the skulls behind me? All these on the wall? I spent hours and hours, actually all the ones on the bottom here, I did with Sharpies and pencils. That was my artistic expression years ago. And then the ones up here, I did once I got an airbrush gun. Then I started working, if you can see, behind my banner there is actually the start of some skulls on the doors. There's skulls on those doors. I love it. There's more skulls on that wall. Those were airbrushed. So that was a good question, James. If you can see in the trusses, there's names everywhere. And they keep going up. And they're on pretty much every truss. And they're on the back side of those trusses. When customers and friends come over, I ask them to sign somewhere. So if any of you are ever in Cecilia, Kentucky, come out to the shop and make sure your name's up here somewhere. All right, let's get busy, shall we? I know there's a lot of people here saying, we just wanted to watch you airbrush and you haven't done nothing but spray some water out. All right, I'm getting there. I promise. So, have you tried using Posca? Tabitha, I have not, because I've never heard that word before. So, I guess I haven't ever used it. Or if I have, I didn't know it. I'm going to start with this right here. This is the good stuff. Part number is 4012. This is paint reducer. TZ, it is noon here. Eastern Standard Time. It's a great graffiti pen. Okay, that's cool. You haven't missed a whole lot. Some how-to stuff. I haven't started painting yet. But, guys, if you have missed anything or if you're joining late, that's no big deal. Because when I get done with the video, however long it is, I haven't estimated or planned that out. I'll go for a while anyway. When I get done, I'll put it on my YouTube. Okay? That's youtube.com/Crazything art. It should also be in the description. So later this afternoon, tonight, tomorrow, next year, hopefully it'll still be there. And you can go on there and watch this video. There's a lot of how-to on it. Check it out. That's part of the reason I'm making this. I want some people that want to see me live and have that availability to see me live. I want you to get to see me do it. And for those of you that can't, it'll be on my YouTube for future reference. Look at Beth, already putting the link down there in the comments for you. Alright, back to business so we can get going. 4012 reducer. You need a good reducer. It also depends on what you're painting, of course. For fabric, I can usually, depending on the details, I could actually start with straight paint. Createx, opaque white. I could pour this in here and start spraying. I really could. You're not going to get a whole lot of details you're going to start running into flow problems because it is a water-based paint. It's going to start building up on your needle and you'll start having a lot of problems. Forgot I was in Kentucky. That's okay, buddy. Like I said, I'm making this video for you guys, so you can always go back and watch it. All right. Now, this is the two things I'm going to be putting in there. If I was doing a lot of detail work, if I was working on a harder surface, like one of my toilet seats, or yesterday I done a pool ball. If I was doing something like that, I would over-reduce my paint at least 50-50, meaning half of this and half of the paint, so that I would get a good flow. I would get finer lines. Now I may have to go over those lines because it's a little thinner, but that's what I would do. But on this, being a fabric, and I'm not going to get into some very small details on this one, I am just going to put a little bit of reducer in there. Now I realize that you guys can't see how much I put in there. So I probably put that much in the cup. Maybe 10 drops. Okay, that's all I need. It's just a little bit to thin the paint out, just a little. A lot of people suggest to thin it out to the consistency of milk. You know how milk is a little bit thicker than water? And that's a good suggestion, especially if you were painting on a tailgate or a hard surface, piece of metal, you know, it's a real good starting point. You can thin it out too much, where it'll spider web and run, and the paint will come out and it'll spread all over the place. And that lets you know you've done it too thin. All right, always shake your paint. So now, I know I'm gonna be going through several cups of paint, but I'm almost full. I don't know if you can see it, but I'm probably to about there. So now I have my reducer and I have my paint. Well, now what are you gonna do, crazy thing? I'm gonna mix it in the cup. That's the way I do it. Some people, they have empty bottles and they'll put their paint in the empty bottle and mix it and shake it up that way. There's nothing wrong with that at all. You find your own way. Some people will even take something and filter their paint. I've heard you can use pantyhose. They make filters, paint filters, that you can filter it. There's nothing wrong with that, especially if you're doing some real fine detail work. Nothing wrong with filtering it. I choose not to. I really haven't had any issues that I couldn't work through where I had to do that. That doesn't mean it's not a good idea. Well, like I said, I'm only going to teach you guys and show you from my experience. But I use an old paintbrush, and I mix it probably for a minute or two. Try to make sure it's good and mixed up. TZ, it's a good question. Using a siphon feed or a gravity feed? I'll be honest with you, I have never used a siphon feed. I learned on a gravity feed. I've always loved them. Now, I know they make a side cup with the gravity feed. The purpose of that I could tell, the only purpose of that is your line of sight. Okay? And what I mean by your line of sight is when you're looking down the barrel of your airbrush gun, what do you see? You see a cup. Cup's in the way, right? So you kind of need to be to the side of what you're doing, and that is how you learn to airbrush. Well, some people want to learn straight on, and there's a cup in their way, so they make a side mount. The cup is over here on the side. Then you can see directly in front of your gun where you need to be. It's a good idea. I've never used one of those either. But I would say that your siphon would be about the same advantage. Depending on how you want to learn and how you airbrush, you may love it. I've never used one. I don't know about their ability. You don't have a cup to clean out that's on your airbrush, but whatever you're siphoning from, you're going to have to clean that out, correct? So I don't have any hoses to clean out. The only hose I have is my air hose. So I'd say it depends more on what you like and maybe what you learn with. All right. Brand new Iwata. Right out of the box, you saw it. All right, let's see how it does. I have not sprayed it yet. I like to spray down here where you can't see. What that does is gets my paint all the way out so that I don't start with reducer or water or anything like that. So here we go. If you've seen my tree skirts, you'll probably already know the basics of what I'm doing. So I've got a black background here. Can you see? Everybody see real good? All right. So my layout is going to be, we're going to put this guy right here. Moving around a lot on me. You ready? Look at that. Brand new gun. Seems to be spraying fine. All right. Get a good layout. And that's all I'm doing to start with, is kind of fog on my layout. I don't need to get in there and, there's no sense in that yet because it's all about layers. Want to make sure your proportions are good for the tree skirt. And I did already mix my black before I made the video so that you guys wouldn't have to watch me do it twice, just with a different color. That's called thinking ahead. I don't do it very often, so you're welcome. I don't like to think, I just like to paint. This is what I love to do right here, everybody. This is my happy place. Look at there, I got paint going. I'm warm in my shop. I got my entire family that are 100 feet away. What more could I ask for? I've got family, friends, customers, clients watching me airbrush. Still makes me a little nervous, but I'm trying to work on that, guys. I'm trying to work on that. I don't know how many videos I've made where I've done this for you guys and I still can be a nervous wreck right before a video. Rob, how long have I been airbrushing? My mom and my Uncle Randy, got me an airbrush gun. I believe it was 8 years ago. It might have been 9. Those are numbers. Numbers are hard. But I believe it was 8 or 9 years ago. I fell in love with it as soon as I got it. I even airbrushed the styrofoam it came in. But it's somewhere around there. I don't remember exactly. I have slept a lot since then. But I know it's not more than like 8 years. It may even be 7 like James said. But now that Christmas has come, I guess maybe I needed to add a number. I don't know, it's a number thing again. Alright, here's my black. The new airbrush gun seems fantastic. When we get down here and do a little bit smaller lines and stuff, we'll see. Elena says, do you just freehand? Absolutely. I don't use stencils. I don't even like to use tape. About the only time I use tape, maybe like on a helmet, like around the bottom seals, and you know, if I have to mask something off, and I just have to, then I'll use some tape. But honestly, I'd rather do it all freehand. If you've seen my work, check it out. You'll see that, you know, maybe early on when I first started, I was trying to do some stencil work to learn and things like that, and I didn't like it. I didn't like the look it gave. So I started watching some other people do it, and I could watch the same person take a skull stencil and put it on there, spray it, and they remove the stencil, and then they go back in there and add some details. Well, then I could watch 10 other people do that same exact skull, just with a little bit different on the details. I don't like that. I want to be as unique as possible, and I'm not knocking their work. They've got just as much time and effort into what they're doing as I do. I'm not trying to badmouth anybody. I just have a different style, and I like my style. I love what I do, and other people seem to appreciate that, so that's cool too. But yeah, I'm really old-fashioned and kind of strict about being freehand. I've even got a video showing you I will airbrush my signature on a lot of things, just so that I'm not using a pen or a marker, so that I can say it's 100% freehand airbrush. Maybe that's taking it too far, but that's just me. I can do a big canvas, all airbrush, no stencils, airbrush my signature, and tell you that is 100% airbrushed freehand. You know, and I'm all about being honest about it and showing you what I do. This is it. You know, people tell me I'm good at it. I'm still learning. I learn every day, and I enjoy it. So we'll see. Hopefully, I never stop learning. Hopefully, I always push myself. Always set goals. There's a great question, by the way. Ronald, you are good at this, I must say. Well, Ronald, I appreciate that, buddy. I'm trying really hard. I've got a lot of work out there for you to see. If you get a chance, subscribe to my YouTube channel. youtube.com/crazythingart. Thank you, Elena. That means a lot. I'm really trying. But you know, I guess I should tell you what I'm doing. What I'm doing now, I've got my black, so you probably can't really pick it up on camera, but I'm going around and hitting where my overspray was so I can kind of make this head a little bit finer. You were talking about being freehand. You know, if I had a stencil, big round stencil, I could put it over. I could have sprayed it and been done in like a minute. And that's fine. If that's the way you want to do it, that's okay. Your stuff is one of a kind, James. That's what I take a lot of pride in, is being unique and being one of a kind. If you asked me to do the same exact thing twice, I would tell you no, because I can't. I can get close, but exact, no. I don't like that word. Exact makes me run the other way. I don't do anything exact. It's all custom. It's all unique. It's all freehand. And that's okay if you don't like that. I don't have a problem with that. It doesn't bother me at all. If you like the look of somebody else's work, or you like the look of something else, that's okay. I had a guy message me the other day. He's fairly local, asking me to do a mural on the wall of his logo. And I was honored. I checked it out and I looked, and it was a lot of words and a lot of straight lines and stuff. And I told him he may be better off getting vinyl. Or, you know, that would be great as far as stencil work. Doesn't mean I won't do it if he wants me to, but I don't have a problem turning down and losing a job out of being honest. Alright guys, let's get some more layout here. Jack's got that long neck. Thanks, Rob. I agree. There's some people that what they do isn't art. They just push it out there as quick as they can. Get it done. Derek, what's the best way to airbrush an 8x10 canvas? Well, I guess that depends on what you're doing on it. I do like to take a layer of airbrush paint and just give it a good coat. Whether it's a black or a white canvas, either one, I like to go over it so that, for several reasons. I think it helps with the bite, which usually isn't an issue with a canvas. But I think it also helps with having a background color that'll be useful. I want my black to match my black, you know. If I have black canvases, I can buy them black, but I'll go over them with my black airbrush paint first so that it matches my paint. If there's any, you know, like what I just did here, if you do that, you won't be seen because all your blacks will match. Does that make sense? Now there are people that use, what's it called, gesso and different things that they add on canvases to help smooth them out and work on them and stuff. I've never done any of that. I've never felt a need to. I don't have any problems airbrushing on the canvas the way they come from the factory when I go buy them. Other than, like I said, I'll put a layer of my paint on them. When I can, I want to get more stuff from you. What I've gotten so far has been awesome. James, thank you. I can't do this unless I have guys like you that buy stuff from me. I'm not trying to make a video to sell to you guys. I really am wanting you to watch and see my work. I want more people to see my work and see what I do. Because if I'm not being seen, then I can't do this. So when you see my work, hit that share button and leave me a comment so I know you were there. I'm not asking you to go out and go buy everything I have. If I've got some stuff you want, or I've got some stuff you want me to make, give me a shout, I'll do it. But I need people watching. I need people sharing. Okay? Like James. James is awesome. He's always commenting. That's what I need. All right, I got the neck here. Got some overspray on it, so what I do to clean it up, I come back right through here. Hit it up with the black. You see how that cleans that line up? I use my airbrush to scale models and figures. Same technique, I assume. It's the same technique as far as your paint reducers and things like that, yeah. And I would assume that a lot of your stuff is all close up and freehand, so it's some very tedious stuff. I'm going to take my cap off. To me, what all this does, the only purpose of this is to protect your needle, which is a great idea, because you bend that needle, you're going to have to get another one. They do make different tools, I've heard, that can repair a needle, but either way, it's not good. Don't want to bend your needle. So you do have to be careful. You don't get too close and bump it, drop it, anything like that, especially while you take that off like I just did. My son is so excited to steal my hoodie. Awesome. I better get to work making it, huh? All right. This tree skirt will have Jack, Sally, Zero, and then Oogie Boogie. I don't think I'll be able to do a video of all of it. I don't even have a clue what time it is. Been on here for an hour. I don't even know how long they'll let me be on here. I've already been on here an hour and haven't even got Jack done yet, so. But I'll see if I can get through a good portion of it for you. At least get it laid out. Sally is honestly the hardest one. And I believe that every time I do Sally, I make her different every time. I think it's because she has more characteristics of a human on her face. Not that she looks real, but I think she has more characteristics than any of the other characters. Do you use something to set the artwork? Yeah, Tabitha, I am by train. It gets very annoying some days, especially when I'm out here and I'm chilling, I'm listening to music or listening to a podcast, and all I hear is a train horn, because sometimes they get on them horns and they don't let off of them. By setting the artwork, I'm not really sure what you mean. Heat set, possibly. I do heat set my fabrics. I also have a fabric sealer that I spray. To help make everything last as long as possible. I am talking to the guys that I buy all that stuff from. See if they want to do any advertising with me. Possibly have their logos and stuff hanging around the shop and things so that people can see, and I can help promote them. And not that they need it, they are amazing. The guys out at Coast Airbrush, they do an amazing job. Good customer service, good products. They can get their hands on about anything. And they'll answer questions if you have them. That means a lot. It's part of why I'm doing what I'm doing now. I want to answer questions for people. My wife steals your airbrushes. Yeah, it is fun. I love it. James says, if you run out of time, you may have to start a new video, starting where you left off. Well, I guess that's a possibility. It's possible, Justin. I I use sealers on everything I do because this is acrylic based paint, which means it's water based, which means if you just didn't do anything to it, the water could take the paint back, and like in a washing machine or something like that, it would probably completely take off all the paint or close to it if you didn't do something to it. So yeah, if you can, use an iron. That's what I use to heat set. Once I heat set it, I also use a fabric sealer. And the fabric sealer tells you that it can eliminate the heat set. But I do both because I want it to last as long as possible. I wanted to look at something. I just seen a question pop up. What tip are you working with? And I wanted to see if the specs are in this box. The big handy instruction book we talked about earlier. Well, Brian Johnson, this is the Iwata Eclipse. Whatever it comes with from the factory is what I'm using. I don't remember if it's 0.5 or if it's 0.35 off the top of my head. Probably could have told you yesterday when I wasn't making a video, right? I don't see it. Well, sorry I couldn't answer that question with 100% correctness, but yeah, Brian, this is the Iwata Eclipse. This one, I just unboxed it. Sorry. This one. I just unboxed it, ran some water through it, and put some paint through it. Off the top of my head, I want to say it's a 0.5 needle, but that could be wrong. But whatever it comes with from factory, that's what I use. I've always been able to do everything I've ever wanted with the Eclipse. Justin says he thinks it's 0.08, and it could be. I do not recall. I'll have to look that up again. See, look at the fine lines that I'm doing here. This paint wasn't overly reduced. But I can still get some very small lines. See, Tabitha heard the train. You're going to hear my air compressor here shortly. And like I said, I'll apologize now. It is loud. It'll come on for a couple minutes, and then it'll go off. You have to excuse the interruption. TZ is a lefty, huh? My wife is too. Zachary, my youngest, I don't think he's made up his mind yet. I think he's going to be partially left-handed. It doesn't hurt. If you notice my hand right here, I've got something to rest against when I do my spine lines. If you can stabilize yourself a little bit, it's only going to improve your line work. You may not always be able to, depending on the position you're in. But if you can, you need to do it. What do you do if you make a mistake? Well, Elena, that is easy. Don't make a mistake. No, I'm just kidding. I'll give you a little secret, like we talked about on my canvases. If I go over my canvas with black, and I use my black, then when I paint something and, you know, let's say I shot over here and made a big line, oh no, I made this big huge mistake. Well, why can't I take my same black and go over top of that mistake and start over again? Not a problem. But what if it was blue? You know, well, now I've got something blue and it doesn't match any of my paint, so anything you do now is going to show up. So that's where you got to be careful. What is your background? If you can, at all possible, use your paint as a background, that'll help you to eliminate any mistakes. Depending on what you want to call a mistake too, you know, you could call this overspray a mistake that I had on here. And what did I do? I come through, I tighten it up, I'm painting over the white so that I'm getting tighter lines, making them more distinct. And that's kind of the same concept if I was fixing a mistake. But I suppose that also depends on the scale of your mistake and what it's on, really. Good question. Beth says 0.35. That makes sense. She's so smart. I thought it might have said in the box, and it might somewhere, but you know, I don't want to go sit down for 20 minutes looking while I'm on video, doing a live video, right? So I'm going to give him some highlights around the mouth here. I always thought it looked cool whenever I give him the correct highlights. I'm a little early on my highlights, but that's okay. I want to help give him some attitude. Let him come to life a little bit. Then I'm going to go down here and start working on the neck. Bob Ross always said he liked those happy little mistakes. Exactly. I agree with that 100%. I could show you so much of my work that have mistakes in it. Because I see every single one of them, right? Because I have a personal relationship with every stroke that is in that piece. So any mistakes, I know exactly where they're at, how many of them there is. So like I said, I think it depends on the scale of your mistake. I'll tell you what I have done, and I don't know if anybody knows this. I have grabbed the wrong airbrush gun. Reach over here and start and be like, you know, I can't believe I just grabbed the black when I wanted to use the white. So something that I done, see the piece of tape? I put a piece of tape right here so that I know the difference. So that when you have two brand new airbrush guns sitting on your stand, you know the difference. I do it at shows too. I'll put a piece of tape on it. And I don't have to write what color it is or anything like that. It just gives me a difference. This one with this tape never had anything put in it other than white paint. That way I never had to worry about, you know, getting some blue out of it, getting some black out of it. This airbrush gun here has no tape on it, no markings. It's my black. Doesn't have anything in it and nothing else put in it other than black. So I don't have to worry about that contamination. Granted, that's because I'm blessed with an amazing wife that buys me airbrush guns for the business. So I have the availability to have multiple guns with multiple colors. If you don't have that option, then I don't guess you would have to worry about picking up the wrong one, would you? But yeah, mark them. What's it going to hurt, right? That'll help you from making the big mistake. Maybe my mistakes can help somebody else out. I don't remember what project I had, but there was one time I was cleaning out an airbrush gun and I had my project sitting here, and I was sitting here and I was cleaning out my gun and I was backwashing it and everything with some back pressure, and it started spitting, which is normal, but I was too close to my project, so it spit on my project, and I was like, oh my goodness. Well, here I am, I'm done for the day. My airbrush guns are cleaned out. I'm ready to go to the house. And now I've got to clean up mistakes that I made. It happens. I mean, nobody's perfect. There's nothing perfect about my work. I'm actually proud of that, though. Again, that's why I go back to my freehand work. I don't want anything that I do to be perfect. I don't ever want to be that good. What do you think? Did you give him some character there? Give him the right highlights? Get my light source coming from this way, which is the most common, top left. Sometimes your mistakes make the art better. That's right, Justin. Makes it unique, Elena says. Some mistakes can just make it unique. That is correct. Seems like everybody's on the same page. Gavin, what's going on, wild man? Good to hear from you. I think I need some more wood in the stove. You guys want to come put some wood in the stove? Look at this amazing camera work again. I'm telling you, I'm fancy. Oh yeah, look at that. I'm a pro. This is actually a little bit low for me, for what I normally keep in here, but since we got 6-8 inches of snow outside, I'm not really wanting to bring in a bunch of wet wood right now. So I'll make do with what I got. Get dry up, then I'll stack some more in. All right, it's about 75 degrees in here. Nice. It's only maybe 10, 11 degrees outside. Come on, over this way. Look, fancy camera work. Oh yeah. Sweet. All right, guys. Let's get busy. Back to what I love to do. All right. We'll work on Jack's neckline and stuff here. I don't know what this is called. Collar, maybe, that he has. I like to put that in there on the tree skirts. I get so used to what I'm doing. It's so neat when somebody new sees my work and they're like, you're so good at what you do. It's incredible to watch. And you know, when I do it every day, I've gotten so tolerant to it. I don't understand sometimes. Like, what do you mean? It's just me airbrushing. I'm just doing what I enjoy doing. Interested to know if there is a copyright to the characters you airbrush. Well, Elena, we don't usually talk about that. The good thing is, I kind of try to make it my own. I don't have anything in front of me here, like doing these characters. I don't have anything that I'm looking at. Again, I don't make it exact. This is not a carbon copy of anything. It may have a resemblance, which I suppose if somebody wanted to fight it, I could probably get in trouble. But a lot of that depends on, are you selling it? Are you selling the image? I'm not telling anybody that this is my personal image. There's a lot of language in that, so we don't usually talk about that. My goal is, this is as simple as I can put it, and if I get in trouble, I get in trouble. My goal is to create what you want and do the best I can at it, and then make you smile with my artwork. I want to make some sort of impact in your life with what I'm doing with this right here. I get to take basically pigmented water. It's got some colorful water. I get to put it in this gun and spray it out and create things. Okay? I get to give this to you, create your smile, or you gift it to somebody and create their smile. And I get to do that for a living. I walked 100 feet, came out here and started doing this. If that gets me in trouble, living my dream, then so be it. I'll just have to deal with that when the day comes. Otherwise, I'm going to continue to do the best I can as a freehand airbrush artist. And hopefully nobody has a problem with that. It's a good question, though. I think there is a fine line in there somewhere. But everybody's definition of art is a little different too, so including my own. This is what somebody asked me to do. It's what they ordered. That's what I want to do. And like I said, I kind of put my own spin on it all. Wait till you see me do Sally. I do her different every time. Crazything Army got your 6. I love that. Can you imagine if I had a Crazything Army? Oh man, that sounds scary saying it out loud. You know, like I said earlier, I don't make anything exact. I don't even like the word exact. When somebody will send me something and say, can you make this exact picture? I usually walk and turn around and walk the other way. That's the first thing I tell them. When they start using that kind of vocabulary, nope, sorry, I sure can't. And I have no intention on it. It will be an artist rendition. It's just fan art. People do it all the time. You can buy fan art all the time. There's an airbrush artist in our mall that sells fan art all the time. That's right. It's definitely all over. Shared. All right. Thank you, Krista. You are amazing. Crazything Army. What a trip. You know, that reminds me of something. I had 2 days ago my best Facebook post yet when it comes to, I guess, visibility. Do any of you that's followed me for a while remember I did a 16 by 20 sloth on a canvas? I done it last year. It turned out really good. Customer loved it. And I did a post again not too long ago about it, talking about how, you know, this one was really popular and I was proud of it. And I put it in a Facebook group, which I'm in several Facebook groups. I don't know, I think I'm in almost 25 to 30 Facebook groups currently, because it kind of depends on what I'm doing. You know, if I'm doing something Halloween-y, then I'll put it in the Halloween group. If I'm doing something with skulls on it, I'll put it in the skull group. So it just kind of depends. And there's a lot of groups out there, and some of them are really cool. Some of them love seeing my work. Some of them don't. I've been kicked out of a lot of them. But I'm getting off subject. The post I made two days ago was in a group, and it had over 20,000 likes. I think it was at almost 21,000 likes. It was over 2,000 comments on that sloth. I mean, wow. 20,000 people watching that one post. Now, that's 20,000 people that hit the button. How many people didn't? How many people actually saw it without hitting the button? That's amazing, guys. That's amazing. That stuff like that happens because of you. They see my work, they see my video, they see a canvas, they see anything, and they show it off, and they share it, and they hit a button, they make a comment. Guys, all that's because of you. So you can call it a Crazy Thing Army. I like that. It's very flattering. Many artists will tell you, I mean, they're proud of their work. They want people to see it. And that's what I'm doing. I'm just trying to get the world to see what I do. That's right, Gavin. Try to do my spin on a character. Like I said, right now I have no reference that I'm looking at. I'm not trying to make it exactly like anything. But now that doesn't mean that everybody watching couldn't tell me exactly who that is. So, I guess it's about perception and how you want to look at it. You can find the good and the bad in anything, right? Who knows? Maybe one day I'll get so good and I'll learn what I'm doing. I won't have to worry about any of that. I don't know. I just love it. Frank, what's going on, Frank? Good to see you. Thank you. Lisa, thank you. You're awesome. She's been watching my work for a while. Got my setup for Christmas. I'm just starting out learning. I'm 50 and retired. Well, if you got any questions, I hope I can answer them to the best of my ability. I'd love to help you out. You're welcome to watch my videos on YouTube. Have you subscribed to my YouTube yet? TZ shared. That's awesome. You guys are amazing. I never know what to expect. I mean, I didn't know if I'd get on here and bore you to death. You guys talking and asking questions, that helps a lot. If I can't play any music, I get in trouble for that. Usually I'm out here jamming. I got music going and the world disappears. So I don't think I'm going to be able to finish this one on video today. So I want to take a vote with you guys while I work on and just finishing this guy up. Who do you want to see me put on here? What character would you like to see me airbrush live for you on here? You got 3 more to choose from. You got Sally, Zero, and Oogie. So you guys comment and tell me which one of them you want to watch me do, because I should be able to get one more. Tabitha says 0. What I'm doing now is highlighting this collar, if that's what you want to call it. I guess it's a collar. So it'll stand out good. Again, my light source is coming from this way. Ronald says Oogie. Daughter says 0. I say Sally. Oh my goodness, I'm getting votes for all of them. Need to see some color done. I don't know if I have time to video the color. I'll do the color last. If I was to take, let's say I was to take the green that I use for Oogie and I was to spray it right here, you won't even see it. It'll just barely be there. You got to build it up. You got another vote for Oogie, another vote for Zero. I've mentioned this in videos before, but it's talking about left-handed and right-handed. I'm actually right-handed, but I have started to teach myself how to airbrush left-handed. I'm definitely nowhere near as good with my left hand, especially with detail work. But I can do it, and I am learning. I'm teaching myself to do it with my left hand in case anything ever happens to my right hand. I love what I do so much that I can't imagine not being able to do this. So, if I have to, I'll airbrush with my feet. Get an old shirt and start spraying. Grab it, get it ready. Alright guys, I'll tell you what. I've seen several Oogies. Let's do Oogie. It's already been almost an hour and a half. Got people that's been on here watching and been patient. So I'll put Oogie on here and probably call it a video. How's that sound? Oogie's going to take up pretty much this whole side of the tree skirt. So what you want to do, figure it up I figured it up in my head. I can already see him on there and where he's going to come to and all that. Maybe, I don't know if that's a natural ability or if maybe everybody can do it. I don't know. But that's what I'm doing right now is picturing where I want him, where he's going to end up, and then I'll figure out the details as I go. Alright, you ready? I'm going to start off just like I did over here, and I'm going to start with fogging in just kind of the logistics of where I want him. Kind of fog in the layout. You see where I'm going with it? You see old Oogie coming to life? First time viewing, but we can see your airbrush setup. But can we see your airbrush setup? Absolutely. What would you like to see? Would you like to see the air compressor? Would you like to see the guns? This one, I started off this video unboxing this brand new Iwata Eclipse. Right out of the box. The box is still sitting over here. I'm running about 30-35 PSI on fabric. I would turn it down if I was on a harder surface. Behind you guys is a Dewalt 60-gallon compressor. which will be turning on here shortly, I'm sure. It'll get loud, but it will shut itself back off after a minute or two, okay? So hang in there with me. Again, I apologize for when it comes on. I don't want to run out of air. Then it'll just be brushing instead of airbrushing. Yeah, I know, that was bad. Almost as bad as my amazing camera work, right? Everybody says, shut up and paint. That's what I love to do the most, believe it or not. Just shut up and paint. Of course, these got the needle in them. You'll probably see me doing this all the time. Cleaning the tip dry of that needle, because paint as it comes out wants to dry on the end of that needle. Even though those needles, they're really highly polished, they're really slick, they get worse over time though. They'll deteriorate and they'll even get more and more tip dry on them. You can polish them though. What do you think? Is he starting to shape up for you? Got to be careful I don't concentrate too much. I get lost in my own little world when I'm airbrushing. I could easily drift off and forget you guys are even watching. And I'm trying my best not to do that. I'm going to give you guys some attention. I love to just sit in your shop and watch and learn. Well, come on out to see you, Kentucky. I'll teach you all I can. You can sign your name on the trusses. Anywhere up there, find you a spot along somebody else's name. Might even find a name you know. A lot of names up there. And really, when you're doing this, you see us flopping around on me a lot. You want to try to get it where it's not doing that. I have little clamps and whatnot where you can kind of put it where you want it and keep it flat. And that's a really good idea to do that. I'm just kind of rushing it a little bit now because I can work with a moving object a little bit just from experience. It's not as big of a deal for me. But especially if you're just starting out, go ahead and clamp it down, get all the wrinkles out of it, get good and flat. On the preparation of this tree skirt, I did iron it out before I made the video so that there wasn't any big, huge wrinkles or anything in it. Always a good idea to take care of that and stuff on your prep before you get started. What do you think about that? Is he looking good? How's he doing? Now he's a big guy, so you'll see me moving him around a lot. Takes up a lot of room. Again, you just gotta kind of picture in your head how he's gonna lay out. Try to get the proportions and things right. If you're scared or that you're gonna get it wrong a little bit, then start off smaller. And you could always expand and make things, a little bigger if you need to. If you've done something too small, a lot easier to expand it. I want some lights and some darks. This is all going to be a neon green later. And again, I'm not making this exact, so I'm just kind of going what's in my head, go with the flow on it, lay it out how I feel like it should lay out. You know, if I don't like the way something... Thanks for your patience, guys. I told you it'd be loud, but necessary. Not too bad though. It came on once, an hour and a half. Not bad at all. Shouldn't come on again by the time we finish the video, right? It depends on how much we airbrush. And that depends on how much you guys gonna want to see, right? What I'm doing now is I've got the black out, going over and catching my overspray, and then I'm tightening up the lines on the outside of him here. Notice I start low and small, and then I fan my way out. I can sit there and spray paint right here like crazy. Won't matter. It's all black already. You want to be fine. You want to be close and controlled when you're up there close to your lines and your boundaries there. Like that. And then fan out. The angle that you have your airbrush means a lot. I mean, you got a picture of that coming out quite fast. If you can picture it in your head spraying out, if you're spraying directly straight on, that overspray kind of goes everywhere. So you want to kind of control that. You're going to have overspray. And you can turn your PSI down. You can turn it down and get really close and get into your detail work. Make some really small lines if you needed to. Can you even see them there? But we're not doing any of that right now. I've got my PSI turned up. Joe Roberts, what's going on, buddy? He's hard-headed, I bet. Thank you, Erica. Thanks, James. Appreciate it, buddy. I'm glad you get to watch. I know some people don't have time to watch huge long videos of mine. I understand that. So I try to make it joyous for everybody. People that want to have a little bit of entertaining quality to it and watch, and then people that want to learn. Try to do some teaching while I'm doing it too, you know. Fast forward if you need to. When you watch it back later, that's okay. Look at there. He's looking wild, isn't he? What do you think? How's he gonna lay out over here? See, he's a big guy. Kind of go crazy with it, because we don't do exacts, right? Crazything Army. I like that. Never heard that. That's crazy. I love it. I guess people that haven't watched the whole video have no idea what I'm talking about. Wasn't my idea. Sorry. My mind gets to wandering. Like I said, I get in another world. I'm at home. I can almost do this with my eyes closed. I love it. I'm doing what I love to do. I don't know what you guys are passionate about. But whatever it is, find it. Do it. Love it. Good for the soul. I get to do it every day. Alright. Look at a quick disconnect. You love these things. Couldn't imagine without them. Go back and tighten this one up. Take care of any overspray. Now, down here should be all wavy. It's just the way he's made. So I'm going to go in and kind of put some shadows in, just a few, kind of help enhance some of the waves he's already got. Some fluorescent green and yellow, and we got Halloween apron. There you go. That'll work. Slow motion so you don't miss anything, huh? Well, I'm going to post it on my YouTube, so you can always go back and re-watch it. If you don't have my YouTube, it should be available in some of the comments and the description, or you can look up Crazything Art on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel. I do post at least twice a week. Here lately I've been posting a lot more than that. Trying to get the content up for you guys. I want you to have something you can go watch. It's not all live videos. A lot of it's just showing projects or talking, or check it out. You'll find something on there you like. Alright. I don't normally do it this way, but because I got you guys watching, I'm going to get out my color gun. I know it's my color gun. I keep it separate. It's got a piece of tape on it. I know what it looks like. Had some water in it. I keep a little bit of water in my guns. After I clean them. Nice material to learn from. I got you on the sub. Awesome. Yeah, be sure to check it out. If you've got like 5,000-10,000 friends you want to send to my YouTube, do that too. That'll help me out a lot. Like I said, always shake your paint. Love your hair. Me too. I've been growing it for years. Normally got a hat on, but feels good out here. Don't need it. This is fluorescent green Createx. I try to date it so that when I have extra paint sitting around, I know how long it was since I got it. Now, depending on what you're working on. If you're working on a harder surface, I would suggest maybe 30-70, 30% reducer, 70% paint. Sorry, I don't like this eye. I want to work on him so. I know, I got distracted. Okay, what I'm going to do today, since I'm not doing detail work, I'm just going to spray the green on to get the color on to the character. I'm going to use it straight out of the bottle and show you that you can grab it straight from the bottle, put it in your airbrush gun, and actually paint. YouTube is awesome to watch. Etsy is awesome. Yep, Etsy's awesome to do some window shopping, right? Go to my Etsy page, hit the favorite button. That way, every time I add something, you'll get to see it. Straight from the bottle into the airbrush gun. Okay? Get the paint flowing. All I'm going to do is spray the white with the green. Now it's built up, okay? Everywhere where it's whiter will have a brighter green. Everywhere it's dark, you'll barely be able to see the green, which is why you have to do it white first, okay? Watch him come to life. This is a good time to use that left hand. Erica Butler, thank you very much. I try to be unique in every project. So I was saying earlier, I'm not going to do the same thing exactly twice. See how it picks up on the brighter places? You can also come back with some white highlights later. Again, practicing with my left hand. I want to get good with my left. That way, you know, if I ever break a finger or get into any kind of injury or anything like that, at least I can come out here and do something still. I love what I do. I could not imagine not being able to airbrush. Won't be too thin. You really need, if you're doing detail work on a harder surface, you really need some kind of reducer to get it to flow very, very good. And it depends on your colors. I've noticed different colors flow differently, so it really depends. Like some of my reds, they don't want to flow at all. I've got some of my darker greens, they don't even want to come out of the airbrush gun when they're straight from the bottle. Kind of play with your own mixtures. You know, you start off, add a little bit of reducer, spray it. If you don't like it, add a little more. A lot easier to add more. So start off light. How do I secure it later? It's on material. It will wash off. And it looks so good to wash off. I agree. So what I do, like especially my hoodies, my shirts, all this fabric, is I iron it and I heat set the paint. If you'll heat set the paint, that'll keep it on there for years to come. I also use a fabric sealer and spray that over top of it after I heat set it. The fabric sealer says that I don't have to do that, but I go the extra mile and do both just to make sure, because I don't want my work to wash off either. Put a lot of time and effort into it. What do you think? You starting to like that green? Is he looking cool? Got about 10 more minutes. I'll probably call this video done so it's not an all-day video so that I can get people to watch it. It should give me time to get him colored real quick. Share your Etsy page to my Facebook. James, you're welcome to share it. You're welcome to share any of my work as long as I get credit for it. I encourage everybody to share it. Awesome color, thank you. I like this color too, for one, because it's not the actual color. It's not the exact that we don't, words like that we don't use. And it brightens him up from the original like dull green or brown. I'm going to try to finish him up. And then like I said, I'll finish this one up. I'll go over and lay out Sally and Zero, put them on here too, but not during the video. I'm going to finish Oogie. I'll call this one done. I'll download it onto my YouTube so you guys can check it out. YouTube.com/Crazything Art. I really need to get them subscribers on the YouTube channel, guys. And I can only do that with you. That is up to you on how many subscribers I get. Hear that spit and sputter? You hear it? It tells me it's empty. I knew it instantly, just by the sound. I'm almost done, so I'm just going to add a couple more drops of paint. Like so. Straight out of the bottle. How do you like your paint? I like my paint straight out of the bottle. That's not funny. I don't even drink. But I paint. Now I'm going to leave this green over here while I come back and finish everything else up. So like I said, you can come over here, you can hit him with some highlights. Watch this. See? He likes them highlights. Check it out. He don't mind one bit. See? Kind of makes him even wavier. What do you think? Can you tell? Add some more over here. Add some highlights to the top. Make him all kinds of happy. Now with Oogie, can I get a shirt? Zach, of course you can get a shirt. Check out my Etsy page. It should be right there in the comments. Check this out. Brand new. You saw me open it at the beginning of the video. Now watch the line work that I'm going to do. The same that you saw me do everything else with. I haven't changed it. I haven't changed the PSI. I haven't changed the mixture or anything. Watch. That's what I love about these beasts, these Eclipse. They're so versatile. I wouldn't need a different gun to do different things. I can get in there and do some fine lines. Watch this. Can you see those little bitty lines? Little bitty lines. All with the Iwata Eclipse, brand new out of the box. You saw me mix the paint. I just have shirts, James. I don't have any hats with my logo on. I'm sorry. What's my PSI? My PSI right now is about 35. I could turn it down a little bit and probably get a little bit more fine tuning if I wanted to, but it's really not needed on this one. The only thing left I have to do to finish this guy off real quick before I run out of time, the only thing I have left to do is the stitches, which is more fine line. You ready? And I like to make these kind of sporadic and different. Don't put any two of them the same beside each other. No real pattern, just whatever I feel looks good at the moment. Because that's how I do it. See that? Guys, these are some pretty small lines. Can you see them? Just off camera. That awesome camera work of mine, I'm telling you. Look at that. There we go. Can I do a Tupac shirt? On a shirt with $100 bills on it. You're very talented. Well, I don't have a problem trying. I'll give it a shot for you. Like I said, you can go to my Etsy page. There's hoodies on there too if you'd rather have a hoodie. My schedule is about 4 to 5 weeks full. Filling up quick. I just noticed my laptop's not even plugged in down here. Better take care of that while I notice it. I'll forget and everything will die on me. Alright, got that taken care of. Sorry about that. Alright, and like I said, when you do this at home, if you're doing this, secure it so it's not moving around all over. You know, I'm just doing this for the video's sake to get it done for you guys. I've got quite a bit of practice on moving items, but you don't really want it moving around on you, especially if you're still learning. Paint's flowing really good today, I must say. You know, when the paint's flowing good, I never want to stop. Like, okay, what else can I paint on? I'll just look around the shop and grab something. I'll grab a hat and do it real quick, or I'll grab a tote bag or something. Just start painting. Can't help it. I love it. All right, guys. How's he look? Is he cool? Can you see him? Well, I'm going to call that a video and get it downloaded on my YouTube. Remember, I can only do this because of you, okay? Show your friends, share, do everything you can to help me out. I'm not asking you to buy from me. That's okay. I just want you to see. I want you to watch. That's what I need. I need viewers, and I need people that pushing buttons and show other people. Show your family members. Have them go to my YouTube and subscribe, okay? It's Crazything Art. YouTube.com at Crazything Art, /Crazything Art. I'll get it right in a minute. You can find it if you want to find it, okay? Guys, I'm going to go finish things up. I got a lot of work to do, and I love what I do, and I do it because of you. Thank you for all that you do. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate you.